Good morning. Yes, I'm trying to earth some of these names of God in personal experience so people can almost feel the reality of them and the meaning of them. And as I was saying to you yesterday, although God has spoken to me in my private life and said, if you tithe your money, I'm going to bless you, and that had happened over and over again. And though he said it to me in my church life in this parish of Betws where I was working, and we'd seen so many blessings financially and seen so much God's pouring out of his presence upon people's lives, seeing healing and all sorts of things happening in that place. Now I was going to a new parish, but I wanted to be sure that before I went, God was going to bless me there, because what I knew for certain, that if God was not going to be with me in this new place, there was no point in going and no point in trying to do work that God did not want done. But now suddenly I felt he had answered, and he had said to me, yes, you can go. And I went there, and I was inducted into the parish. It was a strange experience altogether, because the people of the parish weren't quite sure what they were getting. They weren't quite sure what is going to be happening in the future. Of course, immediately after I got to the parish, I had the usual note from the treasurer, could we have a chat? I said, yes, of course we can. So I went along to see him. And he said, you've got a problem. I thought, yeah, you didn't mention this before I was inducted, but I guessed this was coming. He said, we don't have sufficient income to cover our expenses. Simple as that. He showed me the books. He said, I hope you've got some new ideas as a new vicar as to what we can do. I thought, right. Well, I said, I've never yet been in a parish which has been short of money. Oh, he said, well, you're a lucky one, aren't you? I said, yes. I've never been in a parish which is short of money. He said, well, I hope you've got some good ideas here, because I don't know how we can handle these problems. And in fact, I think it's about time I resign as treasurer. I said, okay, but just hang on for a minute and let's see what we can do. We had our first church council meeting, I always remember it, and we gathered all around and people came in and we went through all the usual business of the parish. And then, of course, we came to the one thing which almost seemed to control every meeting, and that was the problem of finance. So I said to the people, we have a problem here in that our income is insufficient for our outgoings. So we are gradually going further and further into debt. They said, yes. Now, I said, we have a solution for this problem. And it's a solution which I don't know whether you're going to like or whether you're going to be able to accept, but it's a solution. And they said, oh, are we going to have a lottery or something? I said, no, we're not going to have a lottery. How about more jumper sales, sales of work? How are we going to raise the money? What are your ideas? What are you going to do? I said, well, our starting point is we're going to look at what we received, and then we're going to increase our giving. Because last year, you only gave away about £200 in the whole year. Well, let's increase that. And they said, what do you mean increase it? Well, I said, let's increase it to £500 a year for a starter. Let's take it up to that. And we're going to ask God to give us, quite simply, for our needs, £5,000 income so that we can give away £500. But we're going to start by giving ourselves. We're going to make the first step, and we're going to give in faith that God is going to return. The look of shock on their faces was unbelievable. I can still see it. It's, let me see, 23 years I was in the parish. I've been down here in Christchurch for 15, 16 years, 23, 33, about 40 years ago. About 40 years ago. I can still see their faces. Many of them have gone to glory. God bless them. But as we sat there, I can still see them thinking, this vicar is mad, absolutely mad. We're talking about raising money. He's talking about giving it away. It doesn't make sense. It took a lot of effort to get that thing passed. But by the end of the meeting, they had decided, almost giving up hope on the decision, that instead of giving away about £200 a year, they were going to give money away, and they were going to give at least £500 in this first year. I wonder what they thought about when they went home. I wonder what they thought about when they talked about their wives or their husbands or their families. I wonder what they talked about when they met socially in the town. We've really got a crazy vicar on our hands now. Instead of trying to raise money, in fact, he wants to give it away. But never mind, I expect they thought, we got our sales at work, and we got our jumbo sales, and we got our fates, and we got this, and we got that, and we're going to raise money this way. We just have to work harder to raise this money so that this madman can do what he wants to do. Well, the time passed, and gradually they were surprised because the income crept up between £3,500 to about the £5,000 mark. It was exactly 10 times what we had said we were going to give away. See, God was training them, and God does train us, you know. God does train us. He encourages us. But of course, having come back at the end of that year and said, you see, we gave away 500, we received back 5,000. They were a little bit more apprehensive when I said, now let's increase the 500 to 1,000. We come back to this again tomorrow. Amen.